This is Karina Tinnesen with my second hand in for procedural programming at Meteorology AAUCPH. I'll start by showing you my code and going it through, and then I'll show you how it works when it's compiled. So here's my code. The first 4 lines are used for including. I include IOStream, CSTD library, windows.h, and time.h. Then I use the namespace std to avoid writing std : in front of all the standard expressions. Then I create my variables. I'll just scroll down a bit. The first one is called char action and will be used to detect keyboard action and move my character around in the maze. Then I create 2 constant integers, height and width, which are used below to create my 2D array for my maze. Here I have an unsigned chart maze, which will be a 2D array because of the width and the height here in the squared parenthesis. The maze will look like this. And then below the maze I have a couple of structs. The first struct I create is the character. It has an integer for life, an integer for px and py, which will be used to place it in the maze. And then it has a char for symbol, which is going to be the symbol that will be moving around as the character. Then I have a struct for enemy, which has an integer for life and a char for symbol, which as for the character will be the one which will be shown in the maze. Then I have for boost, which will give extra life to the character. It has an integer for life and again a char symbol. Then I have my update maze function. My update main function will in the first place have this system CLS, that is to clear the screen in the console so it won't reprint and reprint. And then I have a for loop, which is used to print the maze. It has first a y and then the x inside in another for loop, so it's a for loop within a for loop. Then I have this handle and hconsole. This is used to change the color of the font. Here I have foreground red and then I have it intensified so it is an intense color. And then here it's printing the maze in cout. Down here I'm changing the color again and then it is printing some text to the console, which you will see when I will compile it. After the update maze, the next function is called move. This also has a change of color. This is green and intensified. Then it prints some text saying action to the screen, and then it waits for action, which will be the next input. That was the char I created in the start. The next thing I have is a switch case, which listens for the inputs S, W, G, and A, which are the ones which will be used to move the player around in the maze, or the character around in the maze. Within the case there is an if sentence which says that if, and then where it is moved in the maze is not equal to hash, it will move it there. It's to avoid it moving into the walls. And that goes for all of them, just in the 4 different directions. So that's what I have in my void move function. Then I have win function, which change the colors of the text, and then say congrats you won if you reach the exclamation mark. That will be shown in the main function. At enemy, here I have all my enemies created. First I declare an instance of enemy here, which was the struct created in the start. Then I assign it a symbol. Here it's this one, add. And then I assign it 5 in enemy.life. I do the same for the others. I give them different characters for symbols and different value of life. Then I need to create a random input. I use srand and rand function for that. I need a number between 1 and 18. And I get that by saying modulo and then having 18 plus 1, since it will start from 0. Then I have random enemy for choosing and random enemy from this array that is created here of the different enemies. Here I have an if sentence, which is used for placing the enemy in a maze. It says that if the position is not equal to hash, exclamation mark, or X, the random enemy will be placed at that position. And that is what I have in the void add enemy function. Then I have add booster, which does the same as add enemy. It is just for the booster instead, which give extra life to the character. And in the end I have my main function. The first thing I have in my main function is player.px and player.py, which is the integers for where I want to place my player. Then I have player.life, which will be used to give life to the player to see if I win or lose. And then there is the symbol, which will be an X. Then I have a while loop that says that as long as the player's life is more than 0, it will continue running this loop. The first thing it says is that it will place the player in the maze at 1.1, player.px, player.py. Then it will run the function add enemy, add booster, update maze, and move. Then I have an if sentence down here that says if the player's position is equal to exclamation mark, it runs the function win. Else if it's equal to add, it will subtract 5 from the player life, and then so on and so forth. And down here, if it's equal to a $sign, it will give 3 more to the player's life. So this was my code, and now I'll show you how it works when it's compiled. So up here we have my maze. The X here is the character. Down here is the winner point, the exclamation mark. It has added one enemy from the start, which is the and sign here. And down here it gives info. You move using W, A, S, and D. You have to go to the exclamation mark to win, and then it tells you about the enemies, the booster, and the life you have left to be able to win. So if I want to go down, I press S and then enter, and it moves down and adds a booster here, and it adds another boost over here, and the enemy is still here. So it adds one booster and one enemy for each time, unless the place is equal to a hash, so it won't remove the walls. So I will just continue down here, and then I want some extra life, so I head this direction. When I go up now, I will gain 3 extra in life and give 23 instead of 20. Then I can continue this direction. And then I'm getting some, now we'll see here. I'll go down. And now I'll hit an enemy and I should lose 7, so I should be down to 16. And now I am. I'll go downwards and I still have enough to be able to go this direction. And I have 13 life left. And now I'm down to 6. I'll just head up and get the extra 3, so now I'm to 9. And now I'll hit the exclamation mark and it says, "Congratulations, you won," and then press any key to continue. So that is what happens when you win the game, and let's try and see what happens if you lose the game. So here we have the maze again. I'll just start by going down. See if I can find some enemies. I have one down here. So now I'm down to 13 life. Six life. Then I'm up to 9. And the next one will give me 7 in damage, so I should be down to 2. And then I have one up here. So what happens when I hit the and sign, which will make me lose? The game closes down since I hit the while loop, and that's how you lose the game. So that was it for me from this time. Have a nice evening.